So, welcome to Ace in the Hole Live, and this today we're going to talk about something I I just had our illustrious guest on, and I made him disappear, and he'll come back in just a second because I want to introduce him because he's amazing. So on the show on Ace in the Hole, we work with a lot of businesses, and one of the primary things. So there's eight pillars of a business that you have to focus on a regular basis, a consistent basis, to create that lead flow, which is the lifeblood of a business. And if you don't focus on this aspect of your business will die. It will. And it doesn't matter what business it is. This is part of the lifeblood of any business. And it's one of the first things that we bring businesses through is basically getting them to connect with other people on a very deep level. And so that pillar of any business is networking. It's connecting with other business owners. It's connecting with other people. It's networking. So I'm going to bring in a man who he is a part of and runs a part of the Davis Chamber of Commerce. He is on two boards of nonprofit organizations. He is a business leader and a business titan in Utah. So I want to welcome Tim today. I'm super excited to have you on the show. Tim is, I hear so many amazing things about you from so many different people. So I'm super excited to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
So tell me just a little bit about what your job is with the Davis Chamber of Commerce, and really kind of what your superpower is there.
So my role here is I'm the director of member development. So I oversee all of our membership. It's my primary purpose to go out and recruit new members, to go tell businesses what the purpose of a chamber of commerce is, why we're vital to the community. I am also responsible for retaining our membership, making sure that you are getting the value out of being a member of our chamber. We don't want to be the type of chamber where we're just coming to bug you for money. We want you to get value out of it and make it a transformational thing. We want to be part of your personal and professional development as well.
Yeah, awesome. So if you're on live, please type live in the comments, and if you're on the replay, type replay. And if you have any questions, please ask us. We'll answer them live, or if you're on replay, we'll answer them afterwards. So awesome. So let's talk about why networking is such a big deal in business. Why is networking one of the pillars that I've put as a pillar of a business? Why is it
You know,
important to you and to the Chamber of Commerce, Tim?
we business connections period are just
Mhm.
so important. I talk to so many businesses. I usually can. I've done this long enough now that I usually can get done visiting with a business, and if they don't want to really get into networking, then I pretty much just tell them, good luck, nicely. You need to get out and get to know the business community. We're the free way to allow you to do that and be connections, not just in the business community, but through government and other resources that can help grow and market your business. And not all chambers are the same, but I know in our chamber, we are very actively involved in getting you the connections you need. And, a lot of people don't think the mechanic and the florist have anything in common, but man, if they could join forces, they could really grow both of their businesses at the same time. And, the rising tide lifts all ships is a true principle out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Clayne and Jeremy and Monty, thanks for joining us, guys. Let's. So, when I start coaching a business, if you need to make money right away, the best way that I know how to make money is by connecting with people and talking to them about what you do and how you can help them. Now, you can go and you can talk about, okay, let's talk about my circles of influence. Who are my friends? Who are my family? Who can I talk to right now? Just outside of those circles of influence, now it's time you have to start meeting new people, and you have to be talking to people who haven't met you before. And that's a super important thing when we're talking about networking. Now we're getting into some people. Sometimes you go to networking events and you know people there, but hopefully you're meeting people who you don't know. So, Tim, what are some tips and some tricks when you're networking? Like, how do you get the most out of networking?
That's an awesome question, and something I get to answer all the time for people. Uh, my number one thing is be genuine, be yourself. Don't be the person who walks, whether it doesn't matter what networking event you go to, usually you'll find the person in there just throwing their business cards at everyone. Don't be that person. People want to get to know you for who you are first and be, just genuinely get to know you. Know, like, and trust is a big deal. So be yourself, be willing to share parts of you that, you know, that you may not feel comfortable with, but just know none of us really feel comfortable doing it. It comes naturally to me to want, I'm just curious about people. I want to get to know their stories. I tell people you need to tell when you're networking and sitting down one to one, there needs to be this symbiotic relationship. So you need to be willing to share things about each other so you can find that connection. Because my whole philosophy, and I took this from a TED talk a long time ago, but everybody knows somebody that somebody else should know, and we all need to keep that in our back of our heads. So while I'm sitting with someone and they're sharing about themselves, I can sit there and think about 5 or 6, sometimes more people for them to just get that I need to get them connected with. And that's when we're really successful, is when we're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Jared Stewart from Tribe House, but one of the things he preaches is relationship arrogance. He says, in relationships, you can be looking for the people who are going to change your world. You're going to change your business and just be headhunting those people. Or you can take whatever relationships that come your way and just talk to everybody and realize that everybody has connections that you're going to want and need in your business. And relationship arrogance is the idea that you're arrogant enough to only go after these really high roller people, these people you think are successful, and you think that those are the people who are going to get you the work that you want. When in reality, that's not always the case. Have you found that to be the case?
I absolutely think that, and I love that. I try to tell people too, like, you may not talk to everyone, you may not do business with them, but you're going to get to know the 20 to 30 people that they know. When you're consistent at just talking to people and telling them about yourself, they're going to be top of mind to them, and they're going to sit there. They're going to say, "I know a guy who does this," and they're going to send them your way. And those people that I know do networking well, they're the ones that are really successful. They may put out marketing, they're doing social media and all that, but I know their success is coming from networking, going to chamber events, or their BNI group, or we have a group here in Utah called Connect Utah that's huge, and really just getting to know people. And those people who are really good at it, I've found, are the ones that are just serving. They're getting other people connected, and I believe in karma, and it just comes back to you when you're getting other people connected to who they need to be with.
Yeah, I love that. I bet you've had some really amazing stories from networking with the Chamber of Commerce. What's a story maybe where you've been able to connect a couple of people who've been really successful because of that networking, that connection that you've created?
Well, I love to so I run a bit, I oversee a group in our chamber called Business Alliance, and it's about 70 people get together twice a month, and we network together, and it's fun to just to sit in the corner and see all these relationships of people I brought into the room. But I was just thinking recently, and this one's just starting to flourish, but I was at a ribbon cutting of all places at a restaurant, and they were serving us lunch, and sitting there talking to a gentleman in front of me, and he does nonprofit work here in Utah of connecting lower income kids with music and getting them to the symphony and getting them involved in the theater. And I knew that 3 seats down from me was one of our major sound guys that comes. I mean, this guy, he owns a company called Swiss Mix, and owns or does, like, people like Garth Brooks hire him when he comes to town, right? So he does an awesome job, but was able to get them connected right there. and see them to start, and then to be able to disengage myself from that conversation and see their conversation flow, and see their ideas just flowing together. Man, that's a true payment for me, is when I can do that, see those things happen. And that's what I see, the power of just networking, the power of being involved with my chamber.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So I own the Salt Lake Pops Orchestra. I'm really big into music and into entertainment. Yeah, yeah, that speaks to me for sure. So it's good to see Brian Straley on. It's good to see Clayne and Jeremy and a few other friends that are on watching. Monty. If you're watching live, please type live in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, type in replay in the comments. And if you guys have any questions for Tim, let me know. I'd love to ask him on the air, and he can answer whatever questions you've got. So tell us more about the Chamber of Commerce and why people need to be in the Chamber of Commerce and what benefit it has for them and for their business.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and something I get to answer a lot. Besides just the networking side of it, and our chamber does a lot of different events. We do a big expo that's coming up here in Davis County in April 18th, and we want as many people to come to that as we can. But we try to put on events where businesses can network and market to each other and get the business community together. But your chamber is also a place that is usually legislatively involved. I know our chamber, we funnel through every bill that comes through the Utah legislature to make sure that it's going to sit right with our businesses, that it's not going to get in the way. We are involved with Hill Air Force Base and have a military affairs committee where we advocate for the quality of life for our airmen. And we are very training centric, very educational, have an educational mindset. We conduct a leadership institute out of our chamber where we not only bring in leadership speakers and give leadership skills, but we'll go to the Davis County Jail, we'll go to the landfill or to Weber Basin Water, different areas of our county, and teach you about some of the issues that you may not think of as a business that may impact your business, and ways that you can come get involved with us and share that. All in all, the Chamber of Commerce is just that alliance of businesses where we can stick together and help each other grow. We can mentor each other. That's a huge aspect. I mean, if you're just a business starting out and you need mentorship of people that have been at this for a long time, come and talk to me. I can get you set up with a lot of people. Our chamber, we're very strategic in where we even put our office. We're in the Business Resource Center of Davis County. So we can get you connected with, the Small Business Development Center, which is free business coaching. If you're not to the point where you can hire a major business coach, come and talk to these guys because they know what they're talking about as well. And there's a lot of different
Can I just interject?
funding.
We actually just did a podcast on accountability. So Marshall Goldsmith, who's the highest paid executive coach in the world, has done all kinds of research on the most successful people, most successful CEOs and business owners. And what the research said was that the biggest thing is accountability. That's the one thing that they all had in common was creating that kind of accountability. So mentorship and coaching and that kind of stuff is super important for business owners. So how can people find you and get involved with the Davis County Chamber of Commerce? Where do they go and how can they learn about you?
Just go to our website, is davischamberofcommerce.com. We're also on most social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn out there. My contact information is on our website. Feel free to reach out to me. We encourage all businesses, just not businesses that are located in Davis County. If you're doing business in Davis County, come join us, because we want to help you get to the right connections to do your business as well.
And if you're not doing business in Davis County, you should be anyway. There's
Right,
a large population in Davis County.
We have the
a big
third
deal
largest
to do
population.
business. Yeah, so it's a big deal.
So you might want to talk to us.
Yeah, right, exactly. And those of you who have smaller businesses, When you're starting out, it is super important that you make eye-to-eye connections with people. When you get past a certain point, we talked about this at my mastermind the other night, and I've worked with a lot of billionaires. When you get to that point, you don't really need to do a lot of networking because that's not a thing. When you start out, you do one-on-one. You get to know people eye to eye. You can answer questions. You talk back and forth. When you're doing sales, that's what you're doing. When you get into a bigger levels, you start to do bigger marketing. You start to go one on many, and you don't need that as much. But if you're a smaller to mid-sized business, you absolutely need that kind of contact to absolutely start scaling your business. And especially with the Chamber of Commerce, with the Davis County, with what Tim Roper was saying, you're making connections with people who can mentor you and can hold you accountable to your business. That's a really, really important thing for any business. So yeah, that's great. Tim, is there anything else that you want to say to the business owners who are watching?
Come get involved. Get out, whether you're a large business or small business, come get involved with your local chamber, because businesses are the backbone of our community. We need them. I'm involved in city government. I'm on the Clearfield City Council. Economic development is just vital for us. That's what runs our community, and that's what brings everyone together. So come help us make connections.
Yes, make connections. Connections are a big deal. And Mike, I guess I have one more question for you. And by the way, those people who are watching, either comment live that you're watching live or comment that you're watching the replay. I know I just saw that Brandon joined us, and let's see, Denisha and Ray and Luana joined. It's good to see you guys. If you have any questions for Tim, please let us know. Ask or for me. We'd love to answer any of those questions. But the last question I have for you, Tim, is how do you make a real substantive connection with another person at your events, at what you do? How do you make it a real connection? Not just I'm pitching you, but how do you make a connection with that other person?
So one thing, I hate calling even on when you do one-on-ones and you talk about that, I call them one and dones, because if you're just going to come
Okay.
in and you're done, right? Focus on the person.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
don't look at people as objects in your way, as
Yeah.
obstacles. Really get to know that person. Find out about them. What's their passions? I would say vulnerability is the ticket to making a real connection.
Vulnerability. Tell me what you mean by that.
We oftentimes hide ourselves, and we hide our true selves, especially when we're getting into an environment where we may be uncomfortable and not willing to share as much about ourselves. And I'm not talking like sharing all of our, personal, what we hide in our closets or whatever, but being willing to talk to people about your struggles and open up about, tell your story is a big part that I like to focus on. Where have you come from? What brought you to this moment? I mean, what setbacks have you had in your life that have allowed you to do this? Failures are huge. Share them, because you might teach somebody else what it's like to go through that, and maybe help them to avoid it. So don't be so secretive that you're not, telling your story out there and letting people hear it, because that's what's going to connect with them and resonate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say and add to that, and I'm all about this, which is inspiring those people, finding a way to connect with them on a deep level, and then seeing them for the powerful person that they are, and finding a way to inspire them and show them a vision of themselves that is greater than perhaps they even see of themselves. And finding a way, when you can see someone for their power, I think that connection can be really deep. So, Tim, thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
you. Yeah. And guys, I will be doing these podcasts every day. I really, Tim, I just started these fairly recently. So thank you for being on. And guys, stay tuned for probably tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have some more Business Titans on. And until then, happy businessing. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.